My purpose in this video is to give a short introduction to Kipling's poem If, followed by a recitation of the poem itself. If is a famous and much loved poem, and I want to say a few things about why I believe it has become so popular and why it means so much to so many people. The first thing is that Kipling uses simple language throughout the poem. His words are mostly common ones and often monosyllabic, such as crowds, friends, talk, hurt. And his phrasing is that of everyday speech, as in, if you can keep your head, or, and never breathe a word. At times he's colloquial in his use of contractions such as you've and you'll. And at one point he piles up 3 don'ts in 3 lines for strong emphasis. All of this gives the poem a homely, personal flavour, as if he were talking directly to the ordinary reader. The next thing is that the rhythm and rhyme of the poem make it very memorable. Apart from certain lines that are deliberately given an extra final syllable to create a double rhyme, it's all in iambic pentameter, 5 pairs of syllables, the first syllable unstressed and the second stressed, which gives the poem a regularity and order, and also a sense of gentle forward movement from unstressed syllable to stressed one. Its rhyme is in an alternating pattern, A, B, A, B, which suspends the completion of each rhyme and so gives a pleasing sense of anticipation and, once again, a feel of moving forwards towards a resolution. This ABAB pattern also serves to give the poem a fixed framework, but Kipling ensures that there's a refreshing variation built into it by making the A rhyme a double syllabled one, such as virtue rhyming with hurt you, and making the B rhyme a monosyllabic one, such as run rhyming with sun. The grammatical structure of the poem is also an important feature. It's actually one long sentence of 32 verse lines, 30 of which consist of subordinate if clauses, and 2 of which provide the clinching main clause coming at the very end. This gives the poem a strong forward momentum towards a final completion, with the constant repetition of if gathering the reader up into a kind of swelling wave, a wave that finally reaches the shore in the last 2 lines. What about the actual content of the poem? If is a didactic poem, one concerned to convey a moral lesson or series of lessons. There are readers who've been unhappy about some of the things that Kipling advises, either because these things are felt to be impossible to put into practice, or because they're seen as not so desirable. For example, how is it humanly possible to treat triumph and disaster just the same? And if you allow no one to count with you too much, where is the place for intimate friendship or love in your life? Well, I do appreciate some of these objections, but I think we should see Kipling as deliberately putting his advice into a poetic form of language that has a hyperbolical or extreme quality. He's creating rhetorical counsels of perfection that are not necessarily humanly attainable or even desirable, because they're not all meant to be taken with exact literalness. We need to read the poem as poetry, not plain prose. And I think that the mass of ordinary readers who've been inspired by If over so many years do exactly that, quite naturally. Finally, I believe that the poem has worked so effectively on so many people because the essence of Kipling's message is conveyed not just in each specific piece of advice, but in the very appealing overall feel of the poem. This overall feel or quality is one of order and balance, where to talk with crowds is beautifully paralleled with to walk with kings, and where it's good to dream, but also good not to make dreams your master. This admirable balance is built into everything in the poem and points us to its essential theme, which is that the complete man here means human being, the complete man may be seen as an ideal equilibrium of qualities, when nothing in his psyche or behaviour can be found to unsettle the perfect whole. Now, the poem itself. If, by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build 'em up with worn out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will that says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minutes with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Thank you for listening.